Okay, so this is my disgusting workbench. I'm always in such a hurry to get things done and get back in the house because usually I got people calling for me that I don't generally have a time to clean up. It really bugs me being like this, but you do what you do. My toolboxes, same condition, some shelving that has miscellaneous. So my plans were to put kids stuff on there, but it's kind of grown past that. I'll get my hand out of the way. This is my barrel stove that is not working. I'm going to try to splice in the picture of my thermometer because it's a bombing like 28 degrees out here. That's where the chimney will go through the wall once I finally get it up. Of course, by the time I get around to that, it'll probably be summer again and I won't have to worry about it. This is my welding table and just a hodgepodge of miscellaneous junk and crap and gloves and tape measures and grinders, and that's the piece of steel that I'll be welding into the chimney outside. I'm just using stovepipe, sorry, not stovepipe, weld casing, and hoping to cope that and get that welded together. And same thing down there on the bottom, just some junk lying everywhere. My welder, my Miller-Matic 175 MIG welder. Got a Lincoln BuzzBox back there. That'd be the hot water tank for my radiant floor heating if I ever get it hooked up. My fridge with the ever essential beer in it. Air compressor that I was lucky enough to inherit from my wife's uncle when he passed. The electrical box. Great big garage door that someday my wife hopes to drive through and park her car in here. This is a decent sized 2-car pole barn, or I'm sorry, 3-car is the way we got it set up. It's 30 by 40. I have the walls insulated. I do not have anything on the ceiling yet. Obviously I need to get the stuff out of the rafters before I can do that. Some shelving with just so much stuff. Like I mentioned, my wife's uncle had passed earlier. I just inherited so much stuff I didn't know what to do with it all. So there's some of the insulation I plan on putting in the ceiling. There's some more of it packed up. Some 2x4s ripped from a previous project. I still got Christmas lights laying around. And I believe it is the 23rd of January. So out here's a lean-to with just more storage, more junk, more stuff I need to get rid of. Now this is what I refer to as my father-in-law's side. Maybe someday I'll explain my living situation. My father-in-law lives here, which honestly, if it wasn't for him, this garage would not be possible. He's been the financier and I've been the labor for all of this. Although we did hire a crew to put the barn up and pour the concrete, I have done pretty much everything else. He's done the electrical because that's just not my thing. But I put all the steel up, I put the insulation up. I will be putting the ceiling up. I put up all these shelves, and hopefully I'll be heating it soon. So here's my little Craftsman radial saw. It's not sliding, but it is compound. It tilts both directions, although I've never actually tried that before. And I have done 45s with it, but and actually it's an older model, so it's kind of made a little bit better as far as the accuracy of the 45 and 90 goes. I still check it with a square. I don't rely on the marks. And maybe I'll show you that. That'll be something I'll show you someday. Some remnants of other projects. And back to my workbench. That's my only source of heat right now, is a little propane heater. And works pretty good. You just got to get kind of close to it to actually get warm. But, it puts a little heat in the air. And my radio. That shelf there was my first ever pocket hole project. As you can see on my workbench, I got a Kreg jig. This is the K4 model. I have screwed down here. And that's what I plan on using today to build some shelves. And I know there's some love-hate going on about the whole Kreg and pocket hole things on YouTube. I think they're handy for what I do. If I was making high-end furniture, I probably wouldn't use them. But I don't make high-end furniture, so it's not a big deal. Anyways, that's that. I'm going to see if I can find some place to set up the camera to film what I'm doing. And I actually thought about maybe putting it on top of my toolbox and rolling it around. Of course, that means cleaning that out first. One, it rolls, and two, I actually have the not the camera, but my phone, which is what I'm recording with right now. I have my phone in my dash mount from my truck. I took it off there. I thought, well, heck, this thing will stick to just about any flat surface. I thought, well, I'll put it on there and I will roll it around. So maybe that'll be a future project. I will build some, maybe a stand or something, and we'll go from there. So for right now, I'm going to take a little break. We'll see if my editing skills even exist. And hopefully this will be a seamless transition into me starting to cut some wood. Okay, so I'm back and I'm getting ready to cut the first of my boards. And I probably should have gotten my square and a pencil out before I started the camera up again. Because like usual, I don't know where my stuff is and I'm gonna have to go hunting for it. So probably pause this and I'll come back. Alright, I am back because, surprise, surprise, I actually put something away for once. That's why I couldn't find it. So I had to write, I take all my notes generally when I'm working on my phone. I put them in there, write them down because my phone is a Galaxy Note 5. Comes with a stylus. It is extremely, extremely useful. But when you're trying to record with it, I can't do all of that at the same time. So what I got to do here is I'm making 3 2x4s. Got to cut them down to 66 inches each. So, not that I am a safety geek or anything, but I will be wearing safety glasses, hearing protection, which I can't even imagine how cold these are right now because it's like 30 some degrees outside. And the whole reason I got my speed square was to make better marks that I could see, and I forgot to do it because I was talking to the camera. I know some people don't talk to the camera. They do voiceover after the fact, which I may get to someday, but for right now, this is about the only option I have. My safety glasses are all fogged up because they are not warm. So hopefully I can see the line and do what I need to do. And this is not going to run because I don't have it plugged in. I actually have a makeshift dust collection. It's called a shop vac. That plugs right into this port, and believe it or not, this saw actually blows all the dust chips like right into that port. It's actually pretty fabulous. All this dust you see on here was before I came up with the idea to plug the shop vac into it. So it's going to get noisy, and we'll make some cuts here. All right, so I got 2 of the 66-inch pieces, and I needed to make 12 24 inches because I'm going to cut some 4x8 sheets in half, make 2-foot shelves. So I need plenty of support for those, so I just took what was left over. I could only make 2 out of that. I saw that other piece laying on the floor, so I grabbed it, and I got to go get another big stick now, and we'll make some more. Alright, so I moved the camera. I'll give you a different perspective. I really don't know what it looks like right now because I'm using what I guess they'd call the back-facing camera. I put it up on top of my drill press, thought that'd be a pretty good point of view. And now you can watch me work from over here. I'm not going to be trying to be one of those guys that shows you every little detail. I mean, maybe if you want to see how I lay my lines out, somebody can ask for that. I'll show you. Maybe I'll show you in another video. Kind of straightforward, but I'll show you a couple of cuts from up there, and maybe we'll try something different. I only needed 3 of these. I don't know why. Good thing I was thinking about it before I almost made my 4th one, but I didn't need one. I do need 3 that are a little bit longer. So I'll have to scratch that line out. I wrote it on a cardboard box here. 67 and a half. I need 3 of those. So we will 67 and a half. So I get a lot of my inspiration. I've gotten a lot of my inspiration, at least from the woodworking side, from a guy. I can't even think of his name right now. When I make this cut, maybe I'll remember it. So one thing, I don't know if you call it a trick or not, but something I've done in the past, because of the kerf of the blade, you can't just lay out, I know I can only get 2 24-inch pieces out of this, so I can't just make a mark at 24 and a mark at 48. My second one will end up short by the kerf of the blade. Sometimes that's not a big deal. I mean, if you're really just hodgepodging something together and dimensions aren't that big a deal, you might be able to get away with that. But something I've done, figured out how to do, is I will make my mark here, because obviously the more marks you lay out first, the faster things can go. And then I will just flip my tape measure around and make my mark from this end. The tape measure will stay locked. It might be a little bit easier. And I still cannot remember who that name is. All I'm coming up with right now is Chris Fix. That's somebody else I've been watching here a little bit lately. And real cool guy with doing the car fixes and stuff. Got some neat things. I stumbled across him when I was looking to see, fuel cleaners work. He's done a lot of review on fuel cleaners, the in the tank and car type stuff. That's Chris Fix. I'll try and put a link to him. Again, first video. Don't know if I'll be able to figure that out on this one, but at some point I will. I'm sure I'll probably reference him again. Just remember that when you're marking from different ends, you need to cut on different sides of the line. Just something you got to keep in mind. So, here we go. All right. So let's see. That's 3 of my longer ones, 1 of my even longer ones. cross supports that I'm going to be putting in, and make some more cuts. And if I think something else to narrate, I'll come back. And I know some of you are probably thinking, boy, that lumber doesn't look so good. Well, I got a bit of a discount on it because, you know, it was sitting at the back and people didn't want it. And all I was originally bought it for was to use as girts to put my steel up with them. Heck, you know, they're not going to be holding much. Don't need to be the greatest. I offered them, I said, hey, I'll take those off your hands if you give me a bit of a discount. They said, okay. And so here it is. And I need 2 more of these 67 and a half, so I'm going to do the same trick, measure from one end, measure from the other end. Pray that I don't forget what I'm doing and actually cut on the right side. So we'll see how it goes. And in case you didn't notice, I moved my toolbox over here. It was over there. Moved it over here, and I actually had the camera mounted here when I was looking down at that. But I thought it was kind of a boring pitch, boring angle. Just watching me make the cuts. I thought maybe watching me lay the lines out and stuff might be a little bit more interesting. Most of this may end up on the cutting room floor, as they say in the movies. I'm not sure. So I think one more stick ought to give me enough of my short pieces. And probably wondering, the 2 of you that may ever watch this video, why I go ahead and make a mark all the way across. And I'm cutting it pretty square with a halfway decent piece of equipment. It's because I just like the line. I like to see it and watch the blade go past the line as it's cutting to make sure it's reasonably square. Put a square mark. You can watch the blade go through that mark and make sure that what you're doing is square. That's how it works in my full-time job. We use a cold saw a lot, and people don't take the time to square it up. And I'll go to make a cut, and I'll make a line the whole way across, and it'll be off, and it makes me mad. I've thrown things before, not my proudest moment. But it happens. We're all human. I apologized. After everybody came out of cover from, duck and cover, they understood, or they claimed they did anyways. So, I believe this is all of these I need. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yep, 12 of these. Like I told you earlier, looks like it's time for a camera move. We're doing some pocket holes. Move these all over here to this area. You got to make some room for some other stuff.